Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. We got a crew here today. Talk about some things going on with the New York Knicks, or rumors going on with the New York Knicks, more than likely. Not really a lot of things happening. So we're gonna get the crew over here. We're gonna jump right into it, man. We got Tony Crow, Andy, Evergreen in the building, and let me get myself out of here so I don't have it's a double me on the screen. There we go. Fellas, what's popping with you, man?
Good. Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black this time. What's good, son?
Shout out to the Chizzy. What's good, my guy? How y'all doing?
Yo, what up, guys?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. All right, let's jump right into it, man, because it's not a whole lot of stuff going on. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Let's talk about Russell Westbrook to the Knicks, because obviously that's, with whatever is happening over in Houston, I don't know what's happening over there, right? It's crazy. I don't know. I can't see Russell Westbrook and James Harden working together. I don't see it, right? I feel like one of those two guys are eventually going to be moved, and it's not going to be James Harden. That's my opinion. That's my thought process on the matter. All right, so I do think eventually Russell Westbrook is probably going to be moved. Of course, anytime any player is going to be moved, the first team that's going to be mentioned are the New York Knicks, right? What's your thoughts, man? Russell Westbrook, what's your thoughts?
I want to go last.
All right, you want to go last? All right. Evergreen, go ahead, man. I'll let you open it up. Can you hear me?
For me?
Yeah, I'll let you open it up. Man. Your thoughts on Russell? I'm gonna tell you mine right off the bat. My thoughts are no. That's
all right.
Off the bat. No. That's how I feel about it.
I concur. First off, let me add that a blind man could see that having Russell Westbrook teamed up with James Harden was probably one of the dumbest ideas that a GM or president could make, as far as pairing, as far as piggybacking off of this whole super team crap. That's possibly the dumbest move that anybody could see that. Like, two guys that dominate the ball. There's only one basketball on the floor. So we saw this coming from a mile away. Right? Now, as far as Russell Westbrook coming to us, I made a little video today early on Facebook explaining why. Like, there's so many negatives to this. And the fact that Alan Hahn found a way to speak so eloquently about the situation and how the Knicks could benefit from it, I feel like the Knicks media is getting worse and worse and worse every year. Like, they're getting worse every year, man, and it's so upsetting, because you actually have a gang of logical fans that can really elaborate on all of the pros and cons that come with Russell Westbrook coming to this team. First of all, off the bat, if we know that RJ Barrett is the guy, and we got him for 3 years cheaply, right, on a rookie contract, and he's supposed to be developing, why would we even think of bringing Russell Westbrook here and losing that? Like, we already know that Russell Westbrook has trouble by himself in the postseason. Is that what we want to do, is spend $41 million this year, $44 million the next year, and $47 million the year after that on a guy that can't get you past the first round? Like, I get it. Perennial all-star, 3 times did the triple doubles. Like, cool, I got you. And even the fact of him coming here, he's got all the grit and anger that a New York player will want, as far as their will to want to play and want to compete. But him competing alone is not getting anybody anywhere. And the fact that people are really, really considering this, it's just like, it's after. I was like, do you guys even watch basketball? Do you guys watch the chemistry that he has when he holds the ball for 37 minutes out of the game. This is not a player that we want here. This is not a player that's going to be, that's going to get us to the promised land. He's not a player that's going to, help our other players develop. The only person that could really benefit from having Russell Westbrook on the floor is maybe Mitchell Robinson. That's it. Because he's going to be able to run a nice little pick and roll, and he may be able to find Mitchell Robinson a lot better in the paint than the point guards that we have right now. But other than that, the players that we want to give up is all our youth, and we're supposed to be all about this youth movement and the development, and they're all going to be gone. And even if we found a way to just to give them our guys off the 1-and-1 deals, and we just had the youth's not going to develop, because regardless of what you do, whether you got Tom Thibodeau as your coach or you got Jesus as your coach, he's going to hold that ball. He's going to play the way he's going to play. And there's no other coach in the world that's going to stop Russell Westbrook from playing the way that he's going to play.
All right.
So it's a disaster.
All right.
It's a disaster.
All right. And see, my reasons for saying no are a little bit different than yours. All right. A little bit different than yours. Although I do, I'm not a fan of the way that Russell Westbrook plays basketball. And I'm not sure, I don't. I guess, he's probably okay with playing with a group of young guys and not, or possibly just being in the first round or, second round or something like that. I guess he's okay with that. I'm not a fan of his style of play. Let's just put it like that. That's me, right? That's me. And I'm not a fan of his style of play or the contract situation with him. But with some of the things that you said, I am going to play devil advocates a little bit, but I want to hear from Andy first. Andy, what's your take?
From my standpoint, I think Westbrook would fit New York as long as fashion-wise. He could, go to the stores and stuff like that. But as far as the Knicks go, I don't see anything positive from bringing him here, unless we don't give up anything but the 1-and-1 deals, and we have a trade partner in the second year, just to make the push for the playoffs, and then trade him for a player that would fit us, or even two players and stuff like that. But, we can't, have that one season. And I think the deal can be made that he's going to be playing only 1 year. And if we would participate at least in a 3-team deal, Westbrook wouldn't be going to us straight away. So, that's only my thought. And just like you said, not the playing style, not the situation for the Knicks and stuff like that. He just, I don't see anything possible except the fashion, Broadway things that he would fit in. For real. That's the only thing I see.
I mean, there are some things that I see where Russell Westbrook could benefit the Knicks. And not just basketball playing style. There are some things that I see, but I'm going to let Tony go, and then I'll jump into that.
All right. First off, I appreciate that it wasn't a lot of disrespect on Russell Westbrook. Let me start with that. I think it can work. I think the biggest factor is what are we giving up? I'm not abandoning the youth movement. I'm willing to give up maybe their pick of the point guard that we have, and obviously the aspiring, obviously Randall, but if we keep in our young guys, I think it can absolutely work. And I'm gonna refer back to last year when I brought up the Jimmy Butler situation. I think he would be a very, very, very similar fit as I thought Butler would be. And the argument that I got from you guys last year was, Butler wasn't a superstar. So that argument gets thrown out the window right off the jump. As far as hindering the youth development, I disagree 100%. I think there is a stigma on Westbrook that he's a ball hog or he holds the ball, and I don't see that at all. This is a guy who has led the league in assists, a guy that had, led the league in triple doubles, average triple doubles for multiple years. He's definitely not a ball hog. The biggest knock would probably be he's not a great 3-point shooter. And, if that's where the argument is, we could talk about that. But again, if we're not doing a mellow trade where we're giving up the farm, I think there's a couple of trades that I could come up with that I would, consider.
Yeah. Okay. Good points. So here's some things that I think about Russell Westbrook. Oh, go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, Tony. My question for you is: do you think we could, if he would be here, and we would only give up, for example, Bobby Portis, Alfred Payton, I don't know, Reggie Bullock, and stuff like that, just fillers, just those one-on-one deals, right?
Mm-hmm.
You think?
I say we would have to give him a pick at least.
Yeah, but okay,
definitely
whatever,
have to
right?
give up a pick.
Let's just say it's going to be the thing that a trade that we could live with, right? Do you think that he's the guy that would get us to the finals in the future if we add a player or two, like in the next 5 years and stuff like that? Or you think he's not the guy that he's good enough to get us to the playoffs, but not good enough for the finals?
I think he could 100% get us to the finals. Like I said, refer back to Jimmy Butler and look what he did this year. Look how he was willing to take I'm not going to say lesser role, but he wants to win. Russell Westbrook wants to win the same exact way. He is not a guy that is like, I'm the star, I got to get 40, I have to do that. He does whatever he has to do to win. That's what you want. And he's a much more talented player than a Jimmy Butler. And we're talking about the East compared to the West. So yes, he could get us to the finals. I wouldn't put my money on it, but I wouldn't say that he can't. Especially when you compare what he did in the West to what he would be doing in the East. So yes, he could get us to the final.
Wait. So all right. So what would you need to add in order for Russell Westbrook to bring the Knicks to the finals? What would you need to add?
The same thing that we need right now. It wouldn't change anything. We would just need to surround the team with shooters. That's literally what we would need, and obviously, some defenders. Mm-hmm. But I mean, Mitch would be a keeper in this situation. I don't see a bad fit next to RJ. RJ would have to improve his shooting, obviously, but I could definitely see them playing off each other as far as RJ cutting to the basket, RJ in the mid range, foul line, with Westbrook, getting to the rim. So all we would really need is a bunch of two-way guys, a bunch of 3-and-D guys.
Okay. I kind of feel like a player that's better next to Russell Westbrook is someone like Frank Ntilikina, right? Because obviously I'm not saying you don't have RJ, you trade RJ. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying what I think works best is having a guard. You got to have a guard at least like Frank Ntilikina on the floor. I think with Russell Westbrook out there, to kind of like you see with Donovan Mitchell and Ricky Rubio, right? That kind of that kind of a dynamic, right? I think you need to have.
CP3 would be a good comparison.
Right. I mean, but someone who's a little bit more. This is the reason why I think that Frank Ntilikina fits well next to RJ, right? Because RJ, you could just let RJ go ahead and score and do what he does, And Frank Ntilikina can be that distributor type of guy. Now, here's my thing with Russell Westbrook. First, I think that Russell Westbrook has there's some things that he has that the Knicks clearly need, in my opinion. And there may be some people that disagree with me. I'm not saying that I'm in agreement with doing a deal, because I just feel like we're not ready to go all in on a win now mode. And if you get Russell Westbrook, you're going all in on a win now mode. I don't know if the Knicks are ready for that here at this point. But there are some things that I think he really does bring. Right? I feel like he is... I don't know if you read or heard the reports about how he kept his hotel room so clean that the wait staff, or I don't know, the hotel staff barely even had to clean the room, right? Because that's the type of attention to detail that he has, almost military-like, in the way that he approaches himself, in the way that he approaches the game, almost in the way that he approaches life. He's a very serious player, so he will bring that type of serious attitude to the team, right? I think he does bring, I think those are some things that are some real benefits. I don't know if he's the same leader as a Chris Paul, but those things that he brings, the fire, the desire, the fire to win, those are all things that I think you need on a winning team. David Parker said, "Oh boy, we're talking hotel rooms." Yes, I'm talking hotel rooms because it is a signal as to the type of person that he is and the type of culture that he would bring to the team. So yes, I'm talking hotel rooms. Yeah, I'm talking hotel rooms. I'm not saying that I'm like, yeah, bring them, because there's some things that I don't see him and RJ. I mean, I feel like they're almost the same guy, except RJ is not as good as Russell Westbrook. And I feel like you need something. I feel like you need a different dynamic between your point guard and shooting guard, if that's the positions that they're going to be on the New York Knicks. And then, to get him, you got to give up a lot. You're giving up draft picks. There's no doubt about it, because he is still putting up crazy numbers. So, and he's 31 years old, right? He's on maybe the downside of his prime, right? So I just don't see the mesh in the mix. And I feel like the Knicks would be going back and doing. And it's crazy because him and Chris Paul have the same type of a contract, although his is, I think, a year longer than Chris Paul's. Yeah, I think it's just a year longer than Chris Paul's, and it's more money, obviously. But I think that they bring something different. I think Chris Paul is a little bit more, that leader type of guy that will instruct, teach in a fiery way the young kids. I'm not sure Russ is that type of guy. Russ brings the fire, he brings the desire, he brings that type of dedication, you know what I mean, and detail. And though I'm not saying those aren't things that we need, I just don't know if it's the fit. You know what I mean? And if it is, and they do it, and I think that the idea of them doing it is something that's real and really does have feet. And if the Houston Rockets are going to be in the market to move Russell Westbrook, I think the Knicks will be on the telephone. I really do. I think the Knicks will be on the telephone. I don't care what nobody says. I think they will. I know last summer, they were seriously talking about getting Russell or trading for Russell Westbrook when he was on the market. There was serious conversations about trading for Russell Westbrook. Serious conversations about it. You know what I'm saying? It didn't happen. And they were kind of like, well, we'll wait and see maybe later on if it's something we want to do. Now it's a different regime. Still, Scott Perry is there. So, he still might be in Leon Rose's ear about, hey, this is something we should do. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm going to try to get around and get everybody's opinion. All right, Nate. Talk to me, Nate.
Hey, can you hear me good, Sim?
Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, man, with Russell Westbrook, you have to understand that he is the ultimate competitor. He plays at a very frenetic pace. You really can't coach him. He kind of coaches himself. I do like the idea that he would bring the best out of RJ because RJ is a competitor like he is. And I think that he would really take RJ under his wing and really, in a sense, light a fire more under his butt than maybe he had before because he's like I said, he's an ultimate competitor. The problems I see with Russell Westbrook is that he's a turnover machine. And unless you're getting rid of Julius Randle, that makes no sense to me because both of them are high turnover rate players. Second of all, the fact is, I don't know how he's going to get along with Thibodeau. I mean, he's a very, very, abrupt player at times. And I think he could clash very well with Thibodeau because Thibodeau is a very strong-minded person himself.
Yeah, I think him and Thibodeau will get along because they have that same. I feel like they have the same approach to the game.
Yeah,
I feel like their minds would meet.
Yeah, I think at this part of his career, I think he wants to win, and so he understands that he's on the backside of his career. So I could agree with you on that. I just think that Russell Westbrook, being the guy he is, he's a really weird dude. I mean, let's just be honest. Like, the guy is very weird. Like, look at him when he was at Oklahoma City. I mean, the guy was always competing with Kevin Durant, and that's another thing too. His volumes of shots bother me a lot. Because, yeah, he might score 20 or 30 points, but how many shots he got to take to get it? And I just think that if the Knicks are trying to be a more up-and-gun, fast-paced type of offense, then Russell Westbrook makes sense because the guy is lightning. I mean, the guy can still fly like with some of the best. But, I mean, if they're going to try to run a more structured offense, I don't know if Russell Westbrook fits that mold. I just feel like he turns over the ball at a very high rate, and he doesn't shoot a very good percentage. He's not a very good three-point shooter. So, I mean, outside of his assists and rebounds, I mean, you want more on the offensive end from him.
Yeah, well, I mean, for his career, he shoots 43.7% from the field for his career. He shoots 30.5% from three. Last season, he shot 47% from the field. All right, that was last season. He shot 25.8% from three, but in the last half of the season, he was shooting 50% from the three-point line. All right, will that follow over into next season? Who knows? If you bring Russell Westbrook in, the first part of his contract, the first year of his contract, you probably are playing up and down as he gets later in age. He might slow down a bit. Who knows? Listen, we always talk about guys slowing down when they start to get into the 34, 35. And naturally, that's going to happen. This is a different age. Guys are taking care of themselves better. They're eating food differently. They're eating different types of foods. Who knows
I don't see a
where it would
slowdown
go.
in Russ's athleticism. I mean, the guy can still run and he can still get to the basket, which is God knows we need a point guard that can do that.
Right now he's 31, but you're talking about at the end of his contract, he'll be 34 years old and making $47 million. Is he still doing that at the end of his contract? Probably not. You know what I mean? Let me get around to some other guys. The last thing that I'm gonna say though is, and I'm coming to you, Josh. I'm gonna come to Josh and Nate at the same time. Josh and Kevin at the same time. If the Knicks traded for Russell Westbrook, Julius Randle's probably gonna go in the trade, right? Because he's making $41 million. You're gonna need. He's probably going to go in that trade, But, Kevin, Josh, talk to me, man.
Go ahead, Kev. You got it.
Well, first off, it's good to be back. I was on vacation down in Orlando, so I missed all of the shenanigans that was going on.
Yeah. Glad to have you back.
Yeah,
Glad to have you back, man. Hopefully you had a good time. It didn't rain on your parade.
No, not at all, man. I'm just upset that I couldn't get to the bubble because I was down at the same place where the NBA Finals was going on. So
yeah,
just that I couldn't get over there. But anyway, I'm with Josh on this one. I like this move. And this is the first time me actually agreeing with Josh. I like this move. Now you got to figure if Houston's really going to clean house, as they say, if we're taking that money, if we're taking on that contract, they have got to take a lot of what we're going to, give them and not even question, what we're giving them. So I would say give them Randall, give them Portis. I'm still a little iffy on the on the draft pick because I love my draft picks. If I do, yeah, I don't know which one I would give them, and I would even throw in DSJ in that. If I mean, I know I said weeks ago that I would take a chance on him. If that's what it takes to get, Russell Westbrook in here, because you're talking about fire, just straight up fire that would come to our lineup, and I really do see him meshing. I see him teaching, and I also see him, just bringing out that dog out of everyone, and especially in that first that starting lineup. And I heard what you mentioned about Frank. I think Frank would benefit greatly from Russell being here. So I'm all for it.
Josh?
I am 100%, 110, 115, 200% in favor of this move. Listen, people act like if we go out and we get someone like Russell Westbrook that we give up on player development, which I adamantly disagree with. You can still bring in someone like Russell Westbrook or a Chris Paul, and you can still do player development. I think winning does more for player development than anything else in the world. Not the coaching, not anything else. Winning games is what does the most for player development.
I agree.
Now, people are concerned about his contract. He is worth every single penny of that contract. Every single penny. Last year, he had the best stats that he's had since his MVP season. He's had the best stats he's had since his MVP season. Okay, 27 points per game. We all know what Russell Westbrook can do. He is an MVP candidate. If given the opportunity, he is an MVP candidate. I'm not saying you bring Russell Westbrook to this team and we win a championship. Obviously, there's still other pieces that need to be we need to get. We need to get a stretch four in here. We need to get some shooters in. But if we can able to get Russell Westbrook here to get that train rolling to start winning some games, I am all for it. And the notion that he somehow makes people around him worse, name one player in the NBA that Russell Westbrook has played with that he has made worse.
Yeah, it's
one player.
No, I don't think he makes players worse. I'm concerned about the fit. I'm concerned about the fit with these guys. Listen, there are a lot of things that I think he does bring to the team. I'm more concerned about the play style with these guys. And yes, I am concerned about the contract and where we would be in 3 years with his contract. And if we're ready,
Yeah, and also, Sam, just real quick, I do not want to throw Kevin Knox in that as well. I want to keep Kevin Knox. This is going to be his third year, so I really want to see a little bit more. I think the jury is still out on Kevin Knox. I don't want him thrown into that trade. If Houston's asking for him, I'm not throwing him in.
I mean, here's the thing, man. I'm telling you, like, if you want to. If you're really trying to go out and get him, guess what? You're gonna have to. If you want him, you're gonna give up some stuff. There's no doubt about it. You're gonna give up some stuff.
Yeah, but the problem I'm having is we're taking him off your books. We're taking him off your books. So if we're taking him off your books, you should be able to take Randall. You should be able to take Portis, and again. Take DSJ. And even as much as I don't want to give it, take a pick as well. I really don't want to give up on Kevin Knox.
I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you. But listen, Russell Westbrook is going to have value around the league, right? So you're not using Russell Westbrook to say, hey, we're going to help you clean your cap. So,
but the players that they're getting, I mean, they're not crumbs.
No,
right?
I mean, but what I'm saying is, you're giving up a draft pick. You're gonna give up someone like a Frank, a Kevin Knox, or Mitch. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
If that's the case,
it's going to happen.
Hey, listen, if that's the case, then I don't want to do it because I like these three guys.
Why don't you agree with that? Because look at Houston. They don't have a center right now. Why wouldn't they not say, you want Russell Westbrook? We want Mitchell Robinson. Not just Mitchell Robinson, but we want Mitchell Robinson in that trade because they do not have a center. Why would they not want Mitchell Robinson?
Well, if we're giving them a pick, they can get a pick in the draft.
Bro,
right?
Bro, come on now. Russell.
I'm just saying.
I mean, but what I'm saying is we got to be realistic. Russell Westbrook, we are not going to trade for Russell Westbrook and think we're just going to help them clear cap space. We are going to give up a first-round pick, and we are going to give up a young player at least. Along with people to make the cap work, Julius Randle, Bobby Portis, whoever else you got to do to make the cap work. Julius Randle, Bobby Portis, or Julius Randle, Elfrid Payton, whatever they would decide to do. And then one of your young players, and a first round draft pick. I mean, I just can't see it. Russell Westbrook is going to be valuable in the league, bro.
It doesn't have to be Mitchell Robinson or RJ Barrett though. The Knicks still have a lot. They have a lot of young assets.
Oh, I get that. What I'm saying though, Kevin was like, I don't want to give up Kevin Knox. What I'm saying is you're going to give up somebody.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it might not be just DSJ. You know what I'm saying? Because they listen. They're gonna try to build their team too. Right? So they don't have a center. They might say, hey, Mitchell Robinson is a young center that has a bright future in this league. Throw him in there.
So I think what the argument is now, what exactly are we willing to give up for him versus what Houston is willing to take back? I think that's what the argument is. No, I don't think anyone disagrees that,
somebody said in the chat, I don't mean to cut you off. I mean, someone said that I'm thinking that Mitch is Kareem or Hakeem. No, that's not what I'm thinking. All right. I'm just saying that he's part of this team. He was one of our diamonds in the rough. So
yeah. Okay.
Cut that out.
Hey, let me get to Andy. You've been trying to say something, and Mark. All right. And then, we'll come back to it. Andy, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I was just going to say that probably what Mark is going to say, that the ownership of the Rockets, they said that they are basically staying course and that they're not trading nor Harden nor Westbrook. We're just talking, of course, hypothetically, if a deal would happen and stuff like that. So I don't want, the chat to go, ballistic on Kevin or on the rest, right?
Right. And I've seen that report as well. But we've all seen those reports come out, and then, we got a long time to go.
Exactly. So, Mark, go ahead.
The only way you see Russell Westbrook get traded is when James Harden say, yo, listen, it's time for me to leave here, because he was the reason why Russell got traded to get there. So in that case, if you're talking about giving up, number one, if the Knicks are going to go to Rockets after Russell Westbrook, they're going to look for a haul, because remember, they have no picks, so they're looking to rebuild their team. If they're getting rid of Russell, that means they're going to end up trading James Harden, because that whole experiment just ended. They're just going to go right into rebuild. So in that case, if they're active for Russell Westbrook, which is still a premium all-star guard, they're going to ask for your best young player and multiple picks. Let's not act like just giving them Knox. Knox ain't a player that's proven in this league, man. He has to prove himself. He have no stock in this league like that to just say, yo, here, take Knox. No, they're going to be asking for either RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett is going to be one of the prized possession they're going to ask for. They're going to ask for the best player on that next team and multiple picks, because they have to rebuild their team. And the way the Rockets deal, they deal in only helping themselves and getting better for themselves. If you look throughout their whole trade history, They look to get back, not to lose. They look to get back. So any of that Russell Westbrook trade, they're asking for a haul. So let's be straight on that, because Russell Westbrook is still a premium guard. I might not like his in-game decisions in big game. That's one thing. What hurts his game, that people have a problem with him, is his late game decisions as a guard. It's big. And that's one of the reasons why Kevin Durant left him, because of that. Is the kid plays at a speed where sometimes it don't warrant it. He's at 100 all the time. And sometimes it don't warrant it, and it hurts the team. He hurts the teams in tough situations. So in that case, listen, RJ will be asked for. Mitchell Robinson will be asked for. Any player with stock on this team will be asked for before any of those players that do not have immediate stock as like RJ. Knox will be in that deal, but RJ and Mitchell will be the prime two that will be asked for in multiple picks. So that's why I'm not going to want to do that, because if you're going to bring Russell here, you might as well bring James Harden with him or another big star. I'm not just going to bring him here alone to do what?
Well, I'm not. If I'm bringing Russell here, I'm not bringing James Harden, because we already seen how that worked out. It's going to be, someone else. If you're bringing Russell Westbrook here, though, you are trying to get another player. You know what I mean? Because you're trying to win.
I'm looking for a bigger star than him, because now he's a star. Well, I'm talking about superstar level, like a KD or something like that, but we can't get that because there's nobody like that out there. So just bringing Russell Westbrook is going to make us relevant, cool. But that's now we're going to be going backwards, because now we gave up the whole goddamn house. It's the same thing with the Carmelo. I talked about the Carmelo thing. That would be the same exact thing. I'd rather just compile what we compile, and whatever young star that's open to come out, because Russell's 31. Not 28, not 27. If he was around that age, I'd say go get that young thoroughbred. But 31 going to 32, and then we have to bring another star to come play with him? That's going backwards now. That's going back. Russell's cool, but not at this moment. If it was 3-4 years ago, I'll be happy to take him, because he is someone that could relish in New York, that can play with young guys, and they just follow his command, because he played with a certain intensity that a lot of NBA players do not play with, that just follow what he does, and they just play at the same pace as he does. So in that case, no to Russell Westbrook, and I thank God that they said, like I said, if James Harden's ready to go, then they're going to trade both of them, and that's where the Knicks could come and play. But the Knicks, if that was the case, I think the Knicks would ask Russell, but it will be a haul.
Well, it'd definitely be a haul. You know what I'm saying? But I can tell you what I know at the very least, Scott Perry would have real interest in Russell Westbrook.
Like that.
I mean, I'm telling you right now. Last year they were seriously looking for, when Russell Westbrook was available, they were seriously looking at it. I got good word about that. You know what I'm saying? That, like they were pushing, and then they decided to back off. Just saying. Andy?
Yes, and what are the percentage chances of Dolan getting, inside that trade, meeting and pulling the trigger?
I don't think so. I think Dolan. I don't think so, because I think Dolan's had enough of being in the spotlight about the New York Knicks. You know what I'm saying? And he just wants to let basketball people do it. I don't think so, because if he gets in the middle of it and the Knicks pull that trigger, he knows it's coming back on him, and he doesn't want that anymore. He don't want it anymore.
I hope you're right, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't think he does. I don't think he does. Yeah, I don't think so. Let me get to a couple callers. Caller, you live. What's poppin'? Yo, what's poppin', brother? How you feeling, man? I'm good, man. I'm good. We just talking about these Russell Westbrook rumors. Okay.
Sim, sorry for breaking up, but they can't hear the caller.
Hold up, my man. Hold up for a second, because for some reason, let me check something. They said that they can't hear you. Let me make sure that I can get it out there so that they can hear you.
Josh, I'm gonna go against you. So he made Sabonis worse.
While I'm doing that, you know, I seen someone who you know, wanted to get in there. Josh, go ahead, man. While I'm doing that, I know you want to get in there. And I'm gonna see if I can make sure I can get it live for the call.
So people act like the Knicks have been winning games. The Knicks have not been winning any games. Russell Westbrook is not coming here to ruin anything because we don't have anything to begin with. We have a lot of young assets. The Knicks have 12 draft picks in the next 4 years. 12 in the next 4 years. Like, we have a lot of assets, and if we have the cap space and we have the money, why not go out and spend it on someone that's meaningful? Not these one and done veterans that we bring in here that we bought in last season, or every couple of years we're bringing these, you know, these 2-year veterans that have no real impact on the team. Why not bring in someone like Westbrook or a Chris Paul who can actually come in and make an impact right away and help these guys win? Now, he mentioned a couple players. He said Victor Oladipo and Kevin Durant. You think Kevin Durant was worse with Russell Westbrook? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Kevin Durant was an MVP candidate, was an MVP candidate.
Okay. Hey, caller, go ahead. Hold on. Let me get caller. Say something for me real quick. Okay. Yeah, the crowd still can't hear you. I'm trying to get it worked out. Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, I just don't agree with this notion that Russell Westbrook was like the Carmelo Anthony of old, like what people were saying about Carmelo, about how he made everyone on the team worse. Listen, if the Knicks bring in Russell Westbrook, they will be a winning team. And I think RJ Barrett can benefit. Him and Mitchell Robinson can benefit from working with someone like Russell Westbrook. And at the same time, I think you guys are acting like you won't even take the call on Russell Westbrook. Like, if the offer is right, the Knicks don't have to give up too much. I at least want to pick up the phone and hear what Houston has to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe the trade back is, you know, a lot, but at least the Knicks take the phone call to at least consider that possibility. But to sit out and flat out say that Russell Westbrook is bad for us, I think Knicks fans, we're not looking at this the right way.
Okay. All right, let me get the Evergreen. Evergreen.
Jesus Christ. Jesus. Sim, there's a reason why Josh is my damn nemesis. Because everything he says never means RJ Barrett, and we have to give up Mitchell Robinson, and we have to give up at least 3 first-round picks. So there's no way that you're going to put RJ Barrett beside Russell Westbrook. It's not happening, bro. They're not going to entertain that. If we say, yo, we're keeping RJ and we're keeping Mitchell Robinson, and we'll give you Julius Randle and Kevin Knox and Bobby Portis and Elfrid Payton and a pick, they're going to look at you like, bro, you're done. Get out of my face. We're hanging up the phone. We're not entertaining it. They, just like Mark said, they are going to want our top young players, at least one of them. At least one of them. So that means either RJ Barrett in a combination of Frank and DSJ, or RJ Barrett with Mitch and Julius Randle and Bobby Portis to make the contracts match up. Bro, he commands $41 million right now, $44 million next year, $47 million the year after that. There's no way that they're going to say, okay, just clear our cap and you can keep the players that you have, the young players that you have right now. We're not talking about assets later on. We're talking about what they want for right now and what they want for the future. And they want picks, and they want our best players for one of their best players, which is Russell Westbrook.
Let me ask you a hypothetical question.
We're not getting them without having Mitchell Robinson gone, without having RJ Barrett gone. He's gone. So this idea of being able to benefit, that's all hypothetical bullcrap. We know we're not going to be able to keep them if we get rid of Russell Westbrook. And if they do decide, then I will change my tone and I will say, you know what, Josh, I completely apologize. You were right. But do understand that RJ Barrett's gone, Mitchell Robinson's gone. Those are the prime two that they're going to look to trade for. We're not getting anything positive out of it except for Russell Westbrook. We're giving up the farm just like we did with Carmelo Anthony. End of rant. Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
I don't necessarily. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, Russell Westbrook, it's out, you know, it's out there in the universe. We got a whole month until we get to the draft, and then I guess after the draft would be free agency, and the Knicks are gonna be busy. You know what I mean? Me, I'm a no to Russell Westbrook. For all the things that I stated before, I'm a no to Russell Westbrook. But if they do it, you have no choice but to jump into win now mode. You know what I mean? Let's move on. Let's talk about somebody else. All right, I'm gonna try to get this caller in again. If the audio doesn't come through, then it is what it is. Caller, you live for me?
Sam.
Okay, I think your audio's coming through now. Can you guys hear him over there in the chat?
I can hear him.
All right. Go ahead, my man.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon to you and all of the Knicks family out there. Peace and blessings to all of y'all. All right. Here's the thing with Russell Westbrook. And
all right.
It's not that Russell Westbrook doesn't work hard. It's not that he isn't the kind of player that the coach can say, look at this guy. Look at his work ethic. Follow him. See what I'm saying? He's coming to the gym extra early. He's doing this. He's doing that. This is the problem with Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook has been miscast his whole career. He cannot be the lead guard. You see what I'm saying? He cannot be the guy. He holds the ball way too much, especially in primetime situations. I'm gonna give you a perfect example, right?
Mm-hmm.
When Houston and their former GM did that nonsense in trading away their center, right? Why did they do that? He traded away the center to give Harden and Westbrook more lane, more time to go to the hole. Correct? Am I lying?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Okay. Why would you, as a star player, sign on to that? You need rebounds and toughness to win in this league. At some point in time, you are going to face the big boys in this league. You are going to face the AADs, whatever. Russell Westbrook and his, he's a good rebounder, obviously. He's averaged a triple-double. But when it came down to it, which one of them could stop AD?
That's not his fault.
So, is that Westbrook's fault, though?
Yeah.
No. I'm not saying it was Westbrook's fault. I'm not saying that. But they appeased him and Harden and the style of play that they wanted to play, which is, you know what? Even though Quinn Capella is not a low post dude, he's still down there in the block area, which is he's gonna have his man down there. So let's remove him from that area totally. See what I'm saying? I remember a couple of years ago in the playoffs, that man shot the ball 44 times and scored 40 points. How can you play with a man who's supposed to be the lead guard who shoots the ball 44 times? I heard one of the brothers try to compare him and CP3. Are you crazy, young man? He couldn't carry CP3's jock. Are you serious? Did you watch CP3 in that last game when he had everybody involved and then attacked in the fourth quarter and just missed a chippy here and there? He was sending Russell Westbrook and Harden home. That's what he was doing to that backcourt. He was sending them home. Russell Westbrook is a very good player. If the Knicks go out today and go get Russell Westbrook, the eyes on there's no more building with the youth. You are now telling the world you're here. You're telling Brooklyn, you're telling KD, the guy you ran away from, guess what? He's just a train ride away, baby. It's gonna be built. That's gonna be built. That's what's gonna be built. They're gonna get a couple of other meager little stars to try and do something which doesn't make any sense. You're destroying the infrastructure that you're trying to put in place. He would be the wrong guy, and he has 3 more years at 41, 47, and 40-something else millions of dollars. Why would you sink your cap space to that gentleman right there? That makes no sense to me, Knicks family. Come on.
I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you. I don't agree with everything, but as far as what you say about him coming to the Knicks, I agree. I agree.
And you can.
I have a question.
I'm hearing cats comparing him to the Carmelo Anthony. Knicks family, y'all got to get over this Carmelo Anthony trade. It was 10 years ago, y'all.
Word is born. Word is born. I'm with you 100%. Word is born. Word up. Word up.
That man was traded for a couple of cheeseburgers and a bucket of fries. He was 26 years old. This man is going to be 32 years old at the start of the next season. There's no comparison. See what I'm saying? Come on, we got to do better than this. We got to stop every time we hear of a trade on. Remember with the Carmelo? Who they trade the Carmelo for? A hurt Danilo? A hurt Wilson Chandler? What? Uncle Ray Feldman was having an okay year in the D'Antoni system. We got to stop this. If you get, I've said, look. I'm not 100% against Westbrook, but if you get Westbrook, what are the other pieces you bringing in here? The best thing you could do for that young man is to get him somebody that be able to get the ball out of his hands, to get him to be able to try and learn to play off the ball, to move without it. You know how many times I watched him and Harden when they were like, you know, when the coach would take him out and put in Harden and be on the same floor. When Harden didn't have the ball, good God have mercy. That man was somewhere talking to the make-believe fans off. He wasn't paying attention, nothing. You're a 10-year vet. Russell, you never sat down with Harden after you watching these game films. I'm like, good, we got to do better than this. Like, when I got the ball, you got to seem interested. You see what I'm saying? You got to set a pick, move without the ball, this and that. You can't look like you don't even care when I got the ball. I'm not playing like that. If nothing else, he's going to play hard. Russell, see what I'm saying? But anyway, fam, I just want to jump off for a quick second. You know what I'm saying? I love you guys. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm about to get killed with the blowback, but that's what it is. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? If you bring it in, Russell, and before I leave, I want to just get to you 1 second, Sam.
Uh-oh.
You gotta stop this Frank Ntilikina.
Come on, man. Don't talk about my guy, man. Come on, man.
Stop it, Sim. Come on, man. You gotta stop it. If you have a Russell Westbrook here, how does Frank Ntilikina work his way in off the bench? You can't have him and Frank on the floor at the same time.
It's perfect.
Frank can't shoot.
We'll see what happens next year as far as shooting. We'll see what happens next season as far as shooting. Right? What was Frank this year? 32%? 32%? Was 32% this year? We'll see what happens next year as far as shooting. You know what I'm saying?
But
the thing is, Frank is the reason why I say that, and the reason why I think Frank is the perfect fit next to RJ is because Frank doesn't demand the ball. He can distribute to everybody else and then let those guys do their thing.
He said he doesn't demand the ball. He's scared of the ball.
And he's not scared. Come on, man. He's not scared of the ball. Did you watch the video? Did you watch the video that I put out last week?
Dude, you know I pay you respect, fam. You
Come
know
on,
I know
man.
You're the dean. You're the dean of the telestrator. You know you're the David Blaine of making things look.
Come on,
the way
man.
they're not supposed to look. You know, I'm always gonna pay you that respect. Dude, if you create it and I'm part of the team, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna laugh at it, which is what I did. But
okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to stop that. Frank is who Frank is. A hard-working ball player. Maybe you could find a role for him off the bench, but
I don't think we've seen what Frank is yet. I don't think we've seen it all yet.
The last time I got on, I told you that Dot was better than Frank, and y'all almost was looking for my address. You know what I'm saying?
He's not. Dot's not better than Frank. I don't think he's better. I don't think he's better. He's not gonna bring anything else. Plays a little bit of defense. Dot's 26, about to be what? 27 years old.
I don't care how old he is. I'm talking about this. I'm talking about this year and the next year. That's still a young man.
All right.
26, 27.
No, he is. He is to us in the NBA. You know, in the NBA, Dot probably got what? 6 years left in the league. before he's overseas?
We got to start with one good year before we worry about 5-6 years down the road.
No, I mean, I'm just saying. I believe Frank has a way bigger future than Doc. I like Damien Dotson. I think
Frank
Frank
don't got it. Frank don't want it. But I'm not going to argue because I'm the same man. I'm the same man that told you that Knox didn't want it. That Knox don't got it.
Knox is in his second year, bro. We got time, man. We got time.
Okay. All
We
right.
got
So
time.
I'm going to say I'm a hop off. A peace to the Knicks family. Y'all know what it is.
Appreciate
Love
you,
y'all.
man.
Peace out.
Peace. So let's talk about one of these guys that, we were talking about the Carmelo Anthony trade. One of the guys that was traded was Danilo Gallinari. He's free agent this summer, right? Well, not this summer, this fall. He put out a tweet, asking which team next. He has himself up there in the Knicks jersey, a Nuggets jersey, Los Angeles Clippers, whoever else he played for. He's free agent. Would you welcome him back to New York? Tony, I'm going to come to you. I'm going to start with you, Tony. Would you welcome the Rooster, Gallo, back to New York?
I 100% would, but I don't think he's coming. I think he's going to the Heat. I think his previous comment was he's not in his 20s. He wants to win, and it's not about money. And I don't see us having the pieces for him to come here and think that we could win. Now, let's just hypothetically say we moved in Chris Paul. Maybe he sees that as a step in the right direction. Sees what Chris Paul did previously with him in OKC, and then says, "I'll still take that pay cut." But I was under the assumption that we would have had to max him out or give him a luxurious contract to get him, as opposed to some of these other teams that he would be willing to take less for and win. So he's a guy that I think we need somebody else with him for him to say, yeah, I'll come here and maybe we could do something.
Right. Now, if he did bring him here, you're bringing him in as a starter?
I would think so.
So if you bring in Gallo, you're moving Julius Randle.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
So then you're probably moving Julius Randle for Chris Paul, and then you bring in Gallo. That could be the only reason. And it's not that Gallo is we're talking about him like he's this big superstar, but Gallo's a good player, right? So then you're moving Julius Randle, you're bringing in Gallo, and hopefully then that means you're trading for a player, which Chris Paul or Russell Westbrook.
We would have to, I think, and he would also have to, take that pay cut. But for him to take the pay cut, we got to have the piece in here for him to say, all right, this is a serviceable team that I could see us, making noise in the playoffs. Yeah. It is possible. I think it is possible that, he could, they could have discussions and they're like, hey, if this trade goes through, then boom, let's make this happen. I don't know what the market is for him. Miami wants him.
Miami wants him.
And they wanted him from last trade deadline.
Right. I can't see why he wouldn't go to Miami then. To be honest with you, right?
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like, they already just made the finals. He already said it's not about the money, it's about winning. They already, had interest in each other. I think that's like a done deal, honestly.
I couldn't see. And I can see him fitting there. Now, is he the piece that takes them over the top? I don't know if he's the piece that takes him over the top, but he's a piece that helps him get back to the finals possibly, and see what they can do. He would fit there. He would fit there nicely. Although, if he did want to come back to the Knicks, I wouldn't mind having him back in the Knicks. We didn't get a chance to really see what he would become. Well, we got a chance. We didn't get a chance to see what he would become under Mike D'Antoni.
And honestly, I was thinking the other day, I was like, man, if and this is not a knock on KP, but if he had the heart that Danilo has, that would be something. Because that's one thing. Danilo came into the league not backing down. He wasn't strong, but you know what I mean. He wasn't scared.
Danilo. So let me get, because Mark got something to say. Go ahead, Mark. I know you got something to say. I'll let you get your little 15-second response into that.
What do you mean by the heart? Because players that produce, you have to play with a certain amount of ego and confidence to play this game. So heart, let's just say he probably wasn't strong enough to go against bigger players than him, which he had a problem with. Let's not
So
see
did Gallo.
Please.
So did Gallo. The difference is Gallo wasn't going to let a guy like Marcus Smart take the ball from him and guard him in the post.
That's the question. Do you know how much people Marcus Smart does that too? And not just KP?
The point is, Gallo was not going to allow that to happen.
In context of what Marcus Smart does to players in this league, I've seen it. KP's not the only person. KD complained about it.
I think you forgot how much Gallo was not a punk. How much he did not back down.
So you're telling me wait. So you're telling me when I'm watching Porzingis play, he's lacking confidence? Because I can show you many players that lack that.
And that's a problem. That's not a good attribute.
I want to go.
It's a fact. If he had the heart of Gallinari, he would already be there.
Listen. I know y'all want to bring him up any chance y'all get. I understand. I understand. But y'all have to stop this, him being soft. Because he didn't have the body and the weight, that don't make someone a punk. Because I beat up people 10 times bigger than me in my lifetime. But that don't make
Gallo didn't have the strength either, right?
Listen, in life, someone is just either physically bigger than you, taller than you, and stronger than you. That's the way of life. But for him to be a punk to come on the court and show off his talent, nah, man, stop, just put it.
You remember when Gallo almost died trying to go after Trent Tucker? That's his name.
So you're telling me Gallo is better than Porzingis? That's what you're telling me.
I said he has more heart.
We don't know. I mean, clearly, we don't know what KP is going to be right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We don't know what he's going to be right now.
Nowhere to be found.
Hey, what?
There's nowhere to be found in this playoffs, bro. Go look at it. Go back and watch the games. Gallo was nowhere to be found. So let's talk about that.
Who was going after Gallo on a mismatch and making him the weak link on defense?
Just like when LeBron James get the mismatch with Steph Curry, that makes him a punk. Come on, just stop. This is just blasphemy. Of course, you're going to go pick on the weakest player on the team.
But they didn't go after Gallo. That's my point.
He is 7 feet. You, as a guard, you want the mismatch. That's smart enough to get the 7 feet.
7'3".
All right. Well, neither one of those guys playing for the Knicks no more. What can we say? I mean, KP is kind of fugazi to me. Fake tough. But it's all good. It's all good. I mean, listen, I would welcome Danilo Gallinari back, and if you would trade Julius Randle for for a premier guard, then that would be a good replacement at the 4, right? Because he can spread the floor. He still shoots 42% from the field, but he shoots like 38% from 3 for his career. That'd be a good replacement. You know what I mean? And he only averages like 4.9 rebounds a game. He's not going to do much but shoot the ball, play a little bit of defense. But he'd be a good replacement, I think. And but
Tim, who
he's probably
throw
headed.
The bag at?
What'd you say?
You know who I want us to throw the bag at?
Who's it?
Jeremy Grant.
Yeah,
I think he would be a nice replacement for Julius.
Am I Grant?
I would go that route.
Yeah, I think you know, who knows what's gonna happen with OKC now? You know what I mean? Who knows what's gonna happen there? But let me get to a couple of these super chats, man, and then we'll get around and talk about some other things before we switch over totally to sportscaster. Gregor Castillo, a couple things to say.
Man.
He's got I got someone on the line, don't I? Caller, what's popping with you, bro?
Yeah.
See that? I'm listening to them guys argue. I forgot all about you.
I was just saying, I wanted for you to intro real quick.
What's going on, man?
It's Nickel 911. Roosevelt, New York in the house. Peace and love to the chat.
Yeah, appreciate you, bro. You know what you want to say?
Oh, I was just going to get on the conversation about the Gallo. I like Gallo as a Knick. I would love to have him back on the team. But this brings up an interesting something I want to mention since we're talking about Gallo. Alrighty, I know you might even not even want to hear this, but the Gallo trade. We didn't lose on that trade with Melo because all those guys fell apart. How many games did they play with Denver?
I mean, I don't know how many games they played with Denver, but none of those guys. Let me see. Gallo is Gallo. Wilson Chandler barely played last season. Raymond Felton. Where is Raymond Felton right now? I don't even remember where Raymond Felton is right now. And then, the big center, I don't even think he's in the league anymore. So.
No, both Gallo and Wilson Chandler basically robbed Denver because they were injured almost their whole time there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. They were. They were.
Guys ain't even in the league.
But I think what people are saying is, if Melo, if you wouldn't have traded for Melo and he signed in the off season, then you would have had those players to put around Melo, and you would have had more of a complete team. You know what I'm saying? You would have had a bigger talent pool. I think that's what people try to get at.
But they're proved to be injury prone. So we never had them and never had them for the last 4 years.
That's true.
You know?
Nah, I feel you, man. I don't know. But look, that's over. I don't blame Melo, for what he did. He did what he had to do to protect his money. I think any player would do that. And, we'll see what the Knicks do moving forward. You know what I mean? Hey, appreciate the call, man. Appreciate the time.
No problem. I'll catch you when you switch over.
Yeah, thank you for being patient too, man. I appreciate it.
Anytime, buddy.
All
Bye-bye.
Right, peace. All right, let me get to these super chats, man, before I switch over here. We talk about Facundo Campazzo, and then we're going to talk about the NBA CBA, right? Because there might be a change in the CBA. I'm going to talk about that. But Gregor Castillo, man, thank you for the super chats. Hit me up. First, he said, does Randall keep his hotel room clean? I don't know. I don't know. Guess what? The Knicks weren't in a bubble, so we wouldn't know. Then he said, here goes Cornerstone Kev, here goes Cornerstone Kevin keeping everyone, talking about Mitch Robinson, and Kev just got back. Perfect timing. Right? And then he told you when we were talking about Russell Westbrook, he was like, don't save him, when you came on and said that the Rockets aren't going to trade him. I still don't believe the Rockets. They still might. I just can't see it working. I don't know who's going to be the coach. I can't see it working. Right? Siobhan said Josh needs to go to Captain's Mast for that take. I'm not exactly sure what take it was. I think it's about Russell Westbrook. Gregory said we better change our number if they try to call. I missed that one. It's so far back because we were having a conversation. I didn't get a chance to catch them when they were going through. He said he also said he never forgot Evergreen for getting us the eighth pick. He told Josh to learn from his elders. Right? And then he told me to stop with the Randall stuff because dude told me to stop with the Frank stuff. He told me to stop with the Randall stuff. We're going to see next year. Watch. Frank is going to do his thing. And then he said to clip this argument about KP that Mark just had with Tony and send it to KP. I'm going to do that too. I'm going to clip it and send it to KP. Say, yo, this is your biggest supporter right here. Even though you're a little bit fugazi, he swears up and down you're not fugazi. Mark, the only reason why people bring him up, I mean, I think Tony was just legitimately, I don't think he was trying to get at you or tease you. I think he was just bringing him up just cuz. You know what I'm saying? People get at you because you get mad about it. That's why people get at you. Because you get mad about it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to switch over to Sportscaster. All right, the link is in the description. It's also pinned to the chat. All right, so if you look at the top of the YouTube chat, you'll see that it's pinned to the YouTube chat, and you can go right there. All right, so, join us over on Sportscaster. I also want to remind you that Friday at 3:30, we'll be doing Coach's Corner. Now, Coach's Corner is live on Sportscaster. So if you want to join us live, you can join us live at 3:30 on Sportscaster. And then it'll be, after it's live on Sportscaster, then we'll do the replay right here on YouTube, and it'll be uploaded to YouTube. So please make sure that you go check us out on Sportscaster. Click this link right here. It's going to take you directly to the live video that's on Sportscaster right now, and we're going to continue. We're going to talk about Facundo Campazzo, and he's going to give us the lowdown. Then we're going to talk about the CBA and how that might impact the Knicks if there is a change in the new CBA, right? Because the NBA, they got until October 30th to say whether or not they want to scrap this CBA or make amendments to this CBA or whatever it is. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, on YouTube, I appreciate you guys. We're heading over to Sportscaster now. Again, the link is in the description. It's also pinned to the YouTube chat, so make sure that you join us there. Be peaceful, YouTube.